Cheers, guys. We got ourselves a little robotic affirmation success story. This one is a good one, okay? This is posted within the past month on the Neville Goddard subreddit. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. So, hi everyone. Have been a viewer of this sub for a bit and just made a new account to post my success with the law. Quick summary: manifested my guy and dream job through simple robotic affirmations. Past context: I've known about the law for some while now and have had manifestations come to fruition here and there, but in my mind, I never really believed in it. Always wrote the successes off as coincidences or a fluke or whatever. Even though I knew that I must have willed them into being somewhere or the other, I just couldn't pin down that absolute belief that the law is real and that I can create whatever I want in my reality. Something just always felt slightly out of reach. Path to successes. 3 weeks ago, I came across some random IG LOA account and was doom scrolling through their posts when one caught my attention and made me ponder. I don't remember which account or post it was, so I can't link it, but it said something to the effect of that given the law is absolute and works all the time without question, and given that you are the creator of your reality, you can make the law work for you however you want. Something about this struck me. It happens a lot of times. Sometimes just some random thing, random post, random event will really just make things click sometimes. I know about affirmations and the Sabbath and Sats and living in the end, yada, yada. For me personally, these have always felt like too many options, and they ended up confusing me because if I say something manifests today and I've been doing affirmations and Sats and living in the end and some other techniques yesterday, I always get stuck on which of these helped the manifestation. Eventually, I'd write it off as coincidence and the cycle would continue. Me not believing in the law and trying to find the right approach and answer and ending up nowhere when it came to my belief in myself as the creator, which for me is super important. I want to know that I am the one pulling the strings and making stuff happen, barring any circumstances. So when I came across that post, I thought to myself, if I can make the law work however, because my assumptions about the law will create, why not choose the easier approach? In my mind, it was robotic affirming. Ding, ding, ding. I've read so many success stories across so many platforms on how it has worked for people and that you don't need to have anything behind it. No visuals, no belief in the manifestation, no feeling of knowing or accepting that the thing you want is here, nothing. Just repeat some words and get what you want. Honestly, to me, it always felt too easy and too good to be true, but I challenged myself with this. Now, going back to that random Instagram post, I said in my mind, from now on, I'm selecting robotic affirming as my method, and the law being the law has to work with that. No questions asked. Sometimes that's what it takes too, guys, is like making that decision. The word decision, I believe in Greek, means to cut off any other thing, right? So when you decide, you commit to something, there's power in that. Choosing one thing to do, whether it's robotic affirming or whatever it is that you're doing, and doing it consistently, consistency breeds that success. So I had zero belief in it, but guess what? Because now I have selected robotic affirming as my approach, I don't have to believe. That was the whole point. That's funny. So I got to it. I did 15 minutes of robotic affirming 3 times a day, morning, evening, and before bed. I had one affirmation that was simple, to the point, and sounded like a fact, nothing extra. I'd be curious what that is. I wonder if they share what it is down below. So I did this for 9 days, did absolutely nothing else, and on the 10th day, I had my manifestation. No doubts now that I was the one who made it happen. I wanted to give this a second try. To drill the point home, I picked another thing I really wanted, came up with a simple affirmation for it, repeated what I did the last time, did my routine for 6 days, 7th day, had my manifestation. I completely believe now. Success 1 was commitment from my guy who I had been in no contact with since 3 years. Wow, that's kind of wild. Randomly asked to meet me and said everything I ever wanted to hear. We're together now. Success 2 was an offer from my dream company for a remote role I applied for and was completely perfect for where I'm at right now with a 60% pay increase. Recruiter offered the job to me without any interview, just a casual chat, and this is a tech consulting company. They did not do this, but did for me because I affirmed it. Both of these are pretty kind of wild success stories. If you take one thing away, let it be this. Customize the law to what you want to do. Choose your approach and stick with it. It absolutely will conform. Peace. Edit. Since I've gotten so many DMs asking about my affirmations and what I did and what my thought process was, okay, this is cool. They're giving their process here. This is where the juicy part is right here. When I say robotic, I literally mean mindless affirmations. I was scared, anxious, etc. about whatever I was trying to manifest. Or was I? Definitely. Did not think it was come. As I mentioned earlier, I had zero belief, which is why I chose robotic affirming as my method. The whole point was to not tie myself down with the concepts of believing or feeling it real or being in the wish fulfilled and all that jazz. It's just unnecessary to me. I was frustrated with not being able to lock that mindset down of just knowing I have it. And so all I did is just say the words and repeat the affirmation for 15 minutes 3 times a day. If my desire crossed my mind anytime beyond the affirming sessions, I'd just say my affirmation once or twice again and just go about my day. Did not think about it dedicatedly beyond the 3 times I'd set apart. My affirmations were, his name loves me and we are together now. For my guy, and I'm working at company name for my job. Reiterating that, I had zero belief behind either. Both still manifested. Hope this answers any questions people might still have. This is, yeah, I love the simplicity in those statements too. And so now we've got one of the moderators here put this comment here, and this comment is pinned to the top of this, says, I'd like to point out 2 observations in this post. 1, you chose the easiest approach. This means you had an inner feeling, knowing belief that robotic affirming would work. 2, you selected robotic affirming and said the law has to work with that, no questions asked. Exactly. Again, showing a feeling, knowing belief that your word was final. This is belief, is the belief, knowing, feeling, and action. I just want to point this out because it's easy to miss, but you encapsulated the feeling of the wish fulfilled in your decisions. You staked your claim with authority and faith and watched as your world changed. Very cool. And this is so well said, guys, because I say this all the time, that your action is your faith. Faith is not just a feeling. Faith is about walking with faith. That's what it means to walk with faith, is to take that action. And this is a form of action taking, right? This belief that's, yes, this is going to work. Final. The finality of that decision, and then doing it and committing to it and staying consistent with it, that is powerful. So there are some other replies here. This person, off of this top comment here, sometimes rephrasing helps others as well. Sometimes the knowing is just not there. It's so vague. And I agree with that. It is a vague, or maybe you want to term it different for your comfort and belief. I don't know if I'm making sense, but this post made me feel so comfortable when I doubt myself. But those words, yeah, you have to know it or be in the state of the wish fulfilled or believe it. It causes unnecessary pressure. And I agree with that, guys. That's why I'm a fan of robotic affirming. You just have to do nothing. Choose your favorite method that gives you peace and comfort and let it go. And no, I don't want to term anything technical. So then somebody else kind of is putting a rebuttal to this guy's top comment, saying people have said they tried robotic affirming without knowing if it will work or not, and it worked. So for them, there's no belief or knowing beforehand. I think the knowing comes with affirming and thinking naturally, and it's not something you have to put focus on. I think this person's right on the money actually with this. Lots of people focus on figuring out how they feel, but the OP just proved that it's not essential to everyone. Feelings come with thoughts, and you may or may not realize you have a feeling, but you don't need to worry about it. And the OP, or the top commenter, the moderator, said, I would agree with you that it should be natural and automatic. On the flip side, plenty of people robotically affirm with some sort of desperation. And as Neville says, it can often imply the opposite of what you're trying to experience. And that's what I said, guys. I touched on that on the previous post, that I covered of the previous Reddit post about robotic affirming. Robotic affirming gets so much hate sometimes. It's so simple yet powerful. I love this. Yes, whenever you think it's going to work, it will. To each their own. I chose robotic affirmations. Affirmations have been working wonderfully for me as well. I used to walk to work every day affirming I'd get pregnant again naturally with a healthy baby by the end of May 2021, and it happened mid-May. Other affirmations happened for me as well throughout the years, and I'm a firmer believer. So somebody else said, woo, these manifestations are coming in hot today. I hope this post proves to people with doubt that you can literally choose or invent any method and assume or decide it will work, and it will. Some people robotically affirm all day. Some do it in 10-minute batches. Congratulations. Just curious what your SP said was his reason for being in no contact for 3 years. Not that it matters, but how you allowed yourself into taking him back. Reason I'm asking is because I've noticed that robotic affirmations almost feel like they hypnotize you and your subject into believing that thing. Side effect? Last time I did it was something very ridiculous and it worked, but decided after that to use my more normal approaches, which allow me to think first if I truly want the thing without hypnotizing myself. Somebody said, this is an awesome and key question. To my mind, it winds up with the thoroughly related notion of parallel realities, which is interesting because we just talked about Frederick Dodson's book, The Parallel Universes of Self. It's not that she made him want her suddenly, but rather that she, through affirmations, entered that version of her universe where on that random day, he thought of her, missed her, and got in touch. And that's a very useful way of thinking about this as well, you know, because they do say that everything has already been created. Everything is already created. And so we're kind of just choosing that timeline. We're kind of just stepping into that version of events, stepping into that version of ourselves, that version of reality. And I really like that kind of way of framing things, because I think instead of like, oh, doing this makes somebody do something, it's kind of a weird, you know, way of thinking about it. And I think the logical mind sometimes, it can actually be a little bit relieving to kind of think about it in that type of format, that yeah, there's all these parallel different timelines, parallel different universes of self or whatever, and we're simply entering into this particular timeline. So yeah, there's a lot of comments on here. A lot of people just, you know, really loving this post, and it's a great post. I'm gonna read a couple more and then we'll wrap it up here. So many people think robotic affirmations is when the person is mindlessly repeating affirmations that they aren't even aware of what they're stating. That's not how I see it. I see them as automatic affirmations. Like you have affirmed them so much, they are easy to come to the mind and repeat to yourself and self-soothe when you start doubting. And excellent way of stating that as well. And then somebody said, yeah, excellent wisdom here. Yes, the key is the inner result. That is the releasing identification from outer appearances to define self. Awesome. Awesome stuff here. Somebody else is talking about Emile Coué and found reference to it in Emile Coué's work. You know, he was referencing this stuff a long time ago, calling it autosuggestion. If you're a fan of his work or Napoleon Hill's work, you will have heard this before. He talked about using what we now call a blanket or umbrella affirmation and repeating it around 20 times just as you wake up so that there's no mental resistance. Somehow, knowing that it's been around that long makes a difference to me. I also found reference to affirming in the Q&A in one of Neville's lectures, and how one of his students explained that it helped counteract negative thoughts. And yes, in the umbrella affirmations, the blanket affirmations, whatever you want to call them, that's also something that I talk about. That's why I love those vague, another way I've described them before is being vague affirmations. And in the example that I commonly use is like going around, say that you're in a new place, especially this works very well when you're around new people that you haven't met before. Everybody loves me. I'm just so likable. Everybody just loves giving me free stuff, right? And every time I've gone on trips, I consistently am able to manifest people giving me free things, people just outflowing tons of positivity towards me, whoever I'm with. And it is something that you can test out for yourself by using this type of robotic affirmation as well. It's a great way to prime the mind again, whether you're trying to manifest that SP, that better social circle. Everybody loves me. You really can't go wrong with that type of affirmation. That's really going to just make it so that whoever you're engaging with, interacting with, you're going to start seeing differences in the way that people interact with you. So yeah, there's a lot of people that have had success with this, guys. You know, it goes in, and it's just something, you know, a lot of the times when we find ourselves in these negative feeling states, we go back into this way where we're like, yeah, but you know, I don't feel like it, it's not going to work, and we doubt ourselves. And sometimes it really helps us to just witness, to just listen to a success story like this, to re-motivate us to get back into that headspace where we're saying, hey, look, I'm going to pick out a couple different affirmations, just sit down, takes a few minutes, and I'm going to start repeating these. I'm going to start repeating these to myself throughout the day. It could be 2, like this person did in this post. It could be 3. I wouldn't go with any more than 3, guys, because the more that you have to do it, the more that you're then engaging the logical mind, which takes away the beauty of the affirmations, because the repetition, the automatic aspect of it, that's the beautiful part. And that can only really be done when I say 2, 3 at the max affirmations that you're doing. If you try to do 5 or some number higher, you're thinking about it, and then you're losing the sauce that actually makes it work, which is the automatic repetition of it. So anyways, guys, much love as always. I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I hope it inspires you. Let me know down below, actually. Drop me a comment and let me know what affirmations you guys are going to be using this month. We're coming into the summer, guys. This is a great time to begin priming your mind, begin putting out some automatic, you know, robotic affirming affirmations, and begin to bring what it is that you want into your reality. It's a perfect time to do it. The weather's getting warm. Everybody's going outside. People are getting ready to go on trips and travel. And, you know, I really hope that going into this season, you guys are able to get some of those manifestations that you guys have been wanting and looking forward to. With that being said, much love as always. Drop me with a like, hit me with a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.